up, everybody? It's Ryan from Roll the Hit. I am in Port Nyanzaru having a cup of tej, which is the drink which is local to Port Nyanzaru. It's actually coffee, but hey, we're in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. We can do whatever the heck we want to do. So this is episode 2 of my series on running Tomb of Annihilation. So this is, again, I'm going to say the spoiler warning before every one of these videos, just in case, but this is for Dungeon Masters running Tomb of Annihilation. And so the second video, I'm going to get into arriving at Port Nyanzaru, and this is based on the campaign that I'm currently running right now. This is a few weeks removed from those sessions, so I kind of have time to think about it and tell you kind of what worked, what didn't work, that kind of thing. So we arrived in the group arrived in Port Nyanzaru, and this is what I do for my online games. I'll try to find cool images like this just to add to the ambiance, have a little music going. I mean, you're a little limited anyways when you're online as opposed to in person, but see what you're limited in doing in person, you've got some multimedia options you can do if you're digital and online. So I'm taking full advantage of that whenever I can. So I will share my screen so you can see the map of Port Nyanzaru. The group landed here from the teleportation spell that Sindra Sylvain exercised or cast to get everybody down from Baldur's Gate to Port Nyanzaru. They landed here at the Harbor Master's office. What I did is, because the Harbor Master is a guy named Zindar, really cool, interesting character, but he's not normally in the office. So I thought, it'd be kind of fun to have just a local who sort of helps out around the harbor, maybe be the person that the characters interacted with. And so I created just on the fly a youngish kind of dock worker there, or harbor worker, and this person gave the group some intel about maybe a couple of the inns that they could go to. In the book, there are 2 inns that the players can go to. There's the Thundering Lizard, and then it is called the House of Repose. Okay, so the characters arrive in Port Nyanzaru. Look at all these buildings. What in the world are they going to do? So chapter 1 of the book, you kind of talked a little bit about teleporting to Chult already and landing here in Port Nyanzaru. One of the first things I did was set the stage for the weather. It's oppressively hot and humid, and I'm from the South in the Southern United States, so I'm used to oppressively hot and humid, so I just try to draw some inspiration from that to try to describe what it does to their physical body when they just, boom, end up in this location. So it takes your breath away, the heat and humidity. So that was one thing I did. The other kind of piece of this is I wanted to plant hints. I mean, there's tons of buildings. I'll zoom out a bit so you can just see. Look at all these buildings. I'll leave this window. If I can zoom. Whoa, it's too much. I mean, look at all that's going on here. There's a lot that goes on in Port Nyanzaru. So when I read the chapter, I see that there's a bit about arrival. There's already a bunch of side quests. The book gives you 10 side quests. And then there's all of these locations within the city. There's the Dungeon Master's map has 25 of these numbered, I think, locations in the various wards within the city. It has descriptions on who's in charge, who are the merchants in charge. They call them the city denizens, merchant princes, if you will, the city denizens. And so there's that, there's the merchant princes, there's all those locations, there's all these side quests, there's factions and their representatives, so lots of factions are in play. I've already talked a little bit in the last video about the Harpers. That's one of the main factions. That's who Sindra is involved with. And at the very end of the chapter, which is probably the most important part of this chapter, is a section called Things to Do. And it breaks them down into 4 things. So the 4 things you can do here in Port Nyanzaru are buying a special item, dinosaur racing, finding a guide, and gathering information. I've tried to fold a lot of those things together. And really the buying a special item thing, even it's listed first. What do you need in order to buy a special item? You need gold. And I happen to have started my player characters off at level 1. I like doing that. This is a pretty hardcore campaign, so they can't stay at level 1 or level 2 or level 3 for very long. I do like that in the introduction to the book, there is a little character advancement section which suggests character levels for where they're at in terms of which chapter of the book you're in. So for Port Nyanzaru, suggested level is 1st or higher, and just exploring Chult is also from 1st to 6th. So my plan is to get them here in Port Nyanzaru from 1st level to at least 3rd level through various combat sports, combat activities that are not deadly. I don't want them to have to rebuild characters yet. And so it takes me back to that things to do piece. Buying a special item requires gold. So in my mind, one of the most important things for the player characters to do is to figure out how to make money. And I've just released their creativity, all of these activities, all of these buildings, all of these things going on, to think about how can they earn gold here in this very wealthy, very merchant-friendly city of Port Nyanzaru. So I've got one of my player characters who is an expert cartographer. He's actually hooked up with the harbor master to help recreate maps. He's getting paid for that gig. Another one of my player characters is a druid with healing. His creative idea was to try to tutor one of the city denizens' daughters in making healing spells or a healing potion or a healing scroll. And I've got a whole thing set up for whether or not that succeeds. He's getting paid daily to tutor, but if she successfully can recreate the spell, and we'll roll some dice to figure that out, then he gets a big payout at the end. The other big thing that I've got going on here is this gladiators arena. I'll show you that map too. So this is what's left over from a battle, from the last battle. So I've got the other characters are barbarian and 2 rangers. So I've got a paladin who's working on maps, a druid who's working on healing spells, a barbarian who wants to get some chops with some fisticuffs and make some money that way, and a couple of rangers. They're all betting, they're gambling, they're using what little bit of gold they've got, and they're betting on who's going to win in the arena here. And it has just been an absolute blast. What I've done to create this as a non-deadly opportunity for the players, or the characters, I keep saying players, for the characters to advance and get some experience, is I've had these little red barrels scattered around. They're full of wooden weapons, and this arena is a non-deadly. In the book, even it says that most of the encounters in here are not deadly. So that kind of was helpful in crafting this idea of, hey, why don't they try to win some money here in the arena? People love to come watch gladiators fight, and in Port Nyanzaru, there's a whole area up here in the old city called Executioner's Run. So if you want to see something a bit more bloodthirsty, they can go, people in the city can go here. If they want to see good old-fashioned athletics, if you will, without all the gore, they can come to the Gladiators Arena. It just so happens that the characters are doing great in the arena. They're earning money that way. So that's kind of the things to do. My first out of the gate suggestion is, as a dungeon master, unless they're bringing a bunch of gold and you can kind of hand wave that part of it, have them spend some time here in Port Nyanzaru being creative about how to make money, right? So how to get gold, because they're going to need that for the other things to do. Buying a special item, gathering information is not going to cost them much, but it's hiring a guide is. And so they'll need supplies that are specific for the jungle, and they'll need guides who know where they're going. Both of those things are going to cost quite a bit of gold. And so it's a great way to kind of level them up here in Port Nyanzaru somewhat safely. There's lots of other side quests as well. Some of them can help them lead to gold. And I'll talk a little bit more about the side quests in the next video. So they're in Port Nyanzaru. They're thinking about how to make their gold. I've given you a few ideas for how my characters are making gold, working with the harbor master, working with one of the merchant princes to help tutor, pass their skills along, and then just good old-fashioned gambling and betting on the dinosaur races as well, and fighting in the arena and betting on themselves, and also winning gold in the arena for winning. They happen to have won their battles, so which is good. I mean, just straight rolls of the dice. All right, well, that concludes this video. We'll see you all next time for episode 3. I'm going to talk a little bit more about dinosaur racing, kind of how I arranged that so that it wasn't quite so cumbersome in my session. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about how they found information and the side quests. So that's going to be coming up next. So if you like this content, if you're planning on running Tomb of Annihilation, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and then ring the little bell. You'll get noticed. I'm going to try to drop these every Thursday morning so that you'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then by my game night, I'll try to take back what I've learned, put them into the next week's video. So stay tuned. Thanks.